I have been requested to speak on bold transitions in the 21st century as far as our country is concerned. I want to state that since the return of democracy in 1998-99, Nigeria has never found itself in such a very, very critical joint in her history. Today, we have had all the negative indices as far as our country. Today, we are more disunited as a nation. We have never experienced this level of poverty. We have never experienced this state of insecurity. We have never experienced this level of unemployment. We have recognized all these negative developments in our history. What is important is how do we tackle these challenges? And this is where history and also experience beckon on us to make sure that we don't get it wrong at this point in time. Otherwise, if we get it wrong at this point in time, I don't know when we will ever get it right. I have been involved in the struggle to return democracy to this country from the military days. In fact, I can say I am even lucky to be alive. So many of my contemporaries have been murdered, have been killed in this struggle. But somehow, by the grace of God, by miracle, I have survived up to this point in time. And that's why in my brief introduction, I stated that there are 5 key areas that any leadership, forget about party, any leadership, whichever from political party, must confront these 5 issues. And I enumerated them. I said the unity of our country is very, very fundamental. And how do we achieve the unity of our country? Is by making sure that we give every part of this country a sense of belonging. And somebody asked me, how do you give every part of this country a sense of belonging? I referred them to the situation we found Nigeria in 1998-99 when we came into office. As a PDP party, we won overwhelmingly. We could go on and form our party, our government, just based on our majority. But we decided to shelve the majority and say, look, every political party must be part of our administration. And we formed a government of national unity. No sooner we formed the government of national unity, there was calm in the country. After the calm, what next? How do we move? Then the issue of the economy came in, the issue of security came in. Because we had a consensus, we had no problem dealing with the subsequent challenges. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have had an experience, and it is that experience that I said must be brought back. Yes, must be brought back. It is only when you have this sense of belonging that you will be able to deal with, say, the issue of security. It is when you deal with the issue of security, then you will now come to the economy. My 5 points that I enumerated are all interrelated. From unity to security to economy to devolution of more powers. I am a product of devolved powers then. And I know what the regional governments achieved with those powers. So that's why I advocated for restructuring or development of powers to the states and the local governments. More resources, more powers to the states and also the local government. So my 5-point program was based on experience. They were based on something that I have seen, I have participated, and I felt went well for this country. So I'm not on a trial and error leadership. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to address you briefly at this annual conferences. In my policy document is to encourage the private sector as far as the development of the country is concerned, both foreign and local.
We'll do it. Thank you. We'll do it.
It is very, very essential because the federal government does not have the resources to do all these things that they want to do. The only way is to make sure that you make conducive investment available to both foreign and local investors to participate in the development of our country, whether it is infrastructure, whether it is education, whether it is healthcare. I had an argument with a university professor from Federal University, Lokoja. He said he read in my policy document that I intended to devolve, in other words, to return education to the states. How dare do I do that? I said, Mr. Professor, do you realize or do you know that the first set of our universities belong to the regional governments? He said, yes. I said, who are the successors of the regional governments? He said, the states. I said, the children you sent to America and to England, who own those universities? Mostly the private sector. So why is it that you think we cannot do it here? We don't have the money. We must abolish the multiple exchange rates that is being done now. Two, you allow the convergence of both official and unofficial rates that will give you a stable naira. Basically, this is the only way you can ensure the stability of the naira. Of course, some economists have argued about, increase in production and so on and so forth. It is only when you have a stable exchange rate that people like me who have factories will be able to access the foreign exchange to produce and therefore retain the labor force. I think this is the simple, straightforward way to ensure the stability of the naira. I have also explained it. I said it's devolving more powers
Yeah, that's it.
and
Absolutely.
resources to the states.
Yeah.
In other words, as far as I'm concerned, the federal government is too big.
Yes.
It's just too big.
Yes.
The federal government has got no business doing some of the things they are doing.
Yes.
I already have a constitutional provision draft to amend the constitution to give more powers to the states and resources to the states and the local governments.